All right, let's talk about the Michigan Wolverines. And look, we're not going to play into that bullcrap narrative about what's going on in the media and talking heads and all this nonsense about what's going on with this alleged scandal. It's a whole bunch of nothing burger. I'll debunk a few of these things on the other side of this because I actually played college football. I can kind of explain some of the things. But let's focus on how Michigan, the players and the coaches, are actually responding. And I think it's outstanding. We've got a report from The Athletic showing the message that Michigan is sending out in the wake of all this. Miles, if you throw up the report, I will read from it. All right, from the report, go ahead, question Michigan's integrity, accuse Jim Harbaugh of disregarding the NCAA rulebook, cry foul about sign stealing or analysts overstepping their bounds, root for the Big Ten's caucus program to get its comeuppance. The Wolverines have made one thing abundantly clear. They do not care. You see it all over social media, right guard Zach Center said. People are throwing different stuff at us, NCAA, whatever. They can claim and do whatever, say whatever. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing. There's a target. Yeah, Harbaugh said. Everyone's pointed it out from the beginning of the season. Our guys are just very focused. They just go about their business. It's going to take more than an investigation or three to take down Michigan. The Wolverines play through investigations the way other teams play through sprained ankles. It just doesn't faze them. All right, so here's my take on this in terms of this report from Michigan. First of all, I love the message Michigan is sending out right here. It's like, listen, we don't care. We're just going to keep beating the brakes off people. But I will say this about this scandal or alleged scandal. This is the absolute worst thing anyone that hated Michigan could have had happen to them. Because when you're in the middle of the season like this, and again, when I played college football, late October around this time, right? You're worn out, you're tired, you're 8 weeks into the season, 9 weeks into the regular season. You had training camp coming into the season. You're sore, you're injured, classes are wearing you down, the days are getting shorter, it's cold outside, right? It's really hard to stay focused at this point in the season. The one thing that can galvanize a team to get everybody on the same track is a scandal of people in the media, talking heads who don't know any better, saying, hey, we think you guys are cheaters, or we think you guys haven't earned it. You talk about motivation and going to practice every day, and certainly on Saturdays, and just keep dominating people. This is exactly the one thing that will keep Michigan on track. Going into this week, after looking at Michigan's who they played so far, I don't know where they're going to stack. I did not know where they were going to stack up the rest of the season. Right now, I have no doubt they run the table. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this statement from Michigan players and, of course, from Harbaugh. But obviously, Wolverines fans are going into a bye right now, but you still have Purdue on the other side of the bye. In the comments section below, give us your prediction, Michigan versus Purdue. I tell you what, the way these guys are going to be motivated, I wouldn't be surprised if that's 56-0. But tell you what, I'll let you put your prediction in the comments section below. But Miles, give me your thoughts on these comments from the Wolverines players and coaches and just the mindset of how they're handling this situation.
Yeah, Nick, it's really great to see a team get around. Everyone just galvanized together. Like you said, it's hard getting halfway through the season, or even pretty much more than halfway through the season at this point. Like you said, these guys are beat up. It's been a long year so far. They had adversity at the beginning of the season. This is a team that is no stranger to things like that. But when you see a team get together and just give that we don't care attitude, we're just going to do our thing. We're going to nose to the grindstone. We're going to keep winning games and being really, really good at it as, the things go, Nick. You look, they're number one points against, so probably number one defense in college football right now. Top 10, number 7 in points for, and they're extremely balanced as well. They're top 50 in both rushing yards and passing yards, so they can do it both ways. This is a team that's really balanced, great offense, great defense. I would be afraid to give them any more juice. This is like, and no, slight to them. This is like Colorado. If Colorado had all elite players, all big guys in the trenches, all of that stuff, all of the juice that Colorado had at the beginning of the season, Michigan is getting now. And look what Colorado did with it. They put out a couple of really nice wins. We saw Colorado at the beginning of the season. They did a lot with that juice. Now, Michigan has that same kind of chip on their shoulder. You don't want to play this team. You hate it if you're Ohio State. You hate it if you're Penn State. This is a team coming for blood. They're saying, you're going to do this to us. We're going to show you exactly how good we are. We don't need any of this outside nonsense. We're going to come for the throat. And that's what I can see this Michigan team doing, Nick. They have all of that motivation, like you said. And this is going to be brutal to watch them come through this last stretch of 4 games. Probably their toughest stretch of games. But I would be nervous if I was these teams because Michigan, I think they're looking to make a statement.
Oh, I have no doubt about it. They're going to win every game, I think, by double digits. I think that, like you said, they're out for blood, and they're just – I think it's going to be just mercy rule in some of these games. Ohio State has created and opened up a can of worms. They don't even know what's going to happen. But I hate that I have to do this because I've seen a lot of people on social media, especially a lot of people that haven't played or they're Ohio State fans. And look, I want to be very clear. I'm not a Michigan guy. I didn't go to Michigan. I'm not an Ohio State guy. I'm just a college football guy. If anything, I'm more of an SEC guy than anything else. But I want to debunk this bull crap. And there's a way that was taught to me to debunk anything that you hear in the news. It's called the really test. It's where you hear something, you're like, really? You really think that actually happened like that? It's an example of when you kind of brainwash yourself. And let me give an example of involving Michigan. So anyone who's played football at any sort of high level, whether it's junior college through D1, D1 AA, I played D1 AA, or high level high school, we've all seen it, or anyone who's watched the games on sideline. You see the guys with the funky signs and the 4 or 5 guys, the backup 3rd, 4th, 5th string quarterbacks doing all the signs. Here's what's really going on there. And this is how it was when I was in college, and this is how it is across the entire football world right here, especially at the college level. Each one of those quarterbacks, they're given a set of plays to fake if they're the dummy guy. If they're not the dummy guy, they're actually being told to play. And those plays that you're being told to fake, right, as you're being the dummy guy, those are actual real play calls. You actually have a script you work through. So when you see those 4 backup quarterbacks on the sideline giving signals, 3 of them that are the dummies, they're actually signaling real plays. And here's the other thing. This is the way when I was in college too. We would switch the guy who was hot, right? Let's say, okay, look at the quarterback. You say, hey, look at Billy. He's the one calling the plays. Or look at Tommy. He's the one who's got the plays. We'd switch that at least once per game, sometimes twice. We definitely would switch it up game to game. And that's common knowledge throughout all of college football, that you literally could go down any given quarter, any given play, certainly any given game, and have no idea which one of those 4 guys is actually signaling the play. And of course, you've got the signs into it as well that can throw another factor in as well. So there's so many variables there. There's literally no way you could ever possibly get any sort of relevant information from that. You just couldn't, because you don't know who the real guy is, because it keeps changing all the time. And here's the other variable. Teams will change up signs from game to game. So for example, let's say if this was right, this hand signal was right for one game, that may be left the next week, right? They'll change that up all the time. So there's no way you could actually get any sort of information that you could certainly use for a matchup later in the season, because it all gets thrown in for a loop. Now, here's the reality. Everybody knows it. Every single player, every single coach, from graduate assistant to head coach, knows it. So all the people that are attacking Michigan right now, you think the most winningest program, if they're not the most winningest, I think they're number 2. You can feel free to fact check me on that. They're one of the most winningest programs in college football history, one of the most well-funded programs in college football history, one of the smartest programs in college football right now, one of the smartest, most experienced coaches in terms of head coach and overall coaching staff right now, a veteran, talented team with a lot of, a deep roster in terms of strength and conditioning, analytics, everything behind them. They have so much money, resources, experience, intelligence behind them. You're telling me they don't know there's no value in looking at another team's signals? You're telling me they don't know what literally every single other player, coach across every level of college football knows? Really? You really think that's the case? And the answer is they don't. They know in their heart of hearts they don't. They just are Ohio State fans, or they don't like Harbaugh, or whatever the reason. The reality is this is a nothing burger. This is something for talking heads who either have never played football. And I'm not going to hate on people that never played football. Like a lot of smart people never played football are great in media. There's a lot of people that have never played football that are being total idiots right now. And there's a lot of people that don't like Michigan that are being total idiots right now. It is what it is, Michigan fans. I wouldn't worry about it because, like we said, this is giving you the juice you need to basically demolish the rest of the schedule.